Good morning, everyone, to Brain Training for Parkinson's. My name's Stephanie, if you didn't already know, welcome. And in this class, it's all about helping you create a better mind-body connection to smooth out your movement and feel better in your body. Today, we're going to be doing more of a ground-based format, a routine, a sequence. So make sure you have nice open space on the floor and maybe a mat or two. We are going to be doing some rolling. So a slender yoga mat might be a little too small of an area if you have a little bit more than a yoga mat. And the purpose of today's sequence is to start with very rudimentary. I don't even want to say rudimentary, but very basic foundational postures on the floor, and then building ourselves up from the ground, literally building ourselves from the ground up into standing posture. So sequentially bringing our body through this journey of how we would learn to be in an upright posture. So go ahead and make your way down to the floor if you haven't already, and I'll give you just a little bit of time to do that. And then once you get down to the floor, go ahead and just lay yourself down on your back. And you can have your legs out straight and your arms sort of out to the side or down by your hips or wherever feels comfortable to start with. So again, the sequencing of today is taking us through what's called the motor development progression, similar to how a baby would develop their movement over months and months and months, but we're going to do it within one single session. But the concept is the same. We're both wiring our bodies and our brains in a sequential pattern that helps us be more fluid and maybe an upright and walking position. All right. So hopefully you're down to the floor by now. Go ahead and just start wiggling your body in all sorts of ways. So this could be like shaking out your knees, letting your feet go right and left, maybe sort of waving your arms up in the air. Again, kind of channeling your infant inside of you, kind of whatever a baby might do just on the floor. They're kind of like excited maybe about something, but don't really know how to coordinate all the movements into something functional. They're just wiggling around and moving around. Good. And then go ahead and bring your arms out into a T fully. And we're going to take your eyes and your head over to the left hand. And then give yourself a little wave with your left hand and say to yourself, like, oh, cool, I've got fingers and I'm waving to myself with the left hand. And then turn your head and eyes to the right hand and wave at yourself with the right hand. And so cool that you have fingers that work and they're interesting, right? Just as a baby would kind of discover that they have hands. And we're just going to alternate and oscillate from right side to left side. So turning your head and eyes to the left, taking a moment to focus in on the object of your hand over there, and then over to the other side. Good. And turning. So we're getting a little bit of head neck control and a little bit of mobility in our neck, being able to turn our head to look right and left. Nice. Okay, good. And we'll go ahead and do that one more time on each side. Excellent. Nice job. Go ahead and bend your right knee so that your foot is flat on the floor. And we're going to take your right arm up towards the ceiling as well. From here, as you roll over onto the left side of your hip, so we're going to press through the foot and reach through the arm simultaneously. Your head's going to lift a little bit. Go ahead and reach towards, find something in your room that you want to say as a baby, oh, I want that toy, or I want mom, she's over there. Good. And then roll yourself back down to the mat and let yourself come into that X. We'll replace your foot back out where it came from, and then go ahead and do the other side. So left knee is bent and foot flat on the ground. Left arm up towards the ceiling. So like Simon says, we're going to up and over the right hip. You can lift your head up and see if you can reach towards something on the opposite side of the room. You have a strong desire to get there. Good. And hopefully you're getting a little stretch in your spine too. Roll yourself back down to the mat and then switch your feet. And we'll do this a couple more times on each side. Right foot bent, right knee bent, and reaching up and over the left hip. Good. As you're in this position, when you're in your final reach here, try not to let your knee collapse fully in. I want you to push your knee actually in the opposite direction that your reaching hand is going. And then return yourself back down. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Up and over the hip. again, pushing your knee in the opposite direction that your hand is reaching. So you get a little stretch in the front of the hip. Roll back down one more time each. Up and over. Yep. And back down. That's it. Last one. If you are going faster or slower than me, no big deal. Just going to do what you can kind of in the time allotted and bring it on down. Nice job. Let's keep that left knee bent. We're going to pull your left knee up and towards your chest. Yep. And just bring your knee in as close as you can. Now, if you're having a hard time grabbing onto your knee, I would say next time you're on the floor, just have a towel handy that you could wrap behind your thigh and help you hold the leg up. Okay. So hopefully we can either bring the leg up or get creative in how we're going to hold the leg here. All right. Grab behind your thigh and have a nice grip there. Elbows might be bent and you're pulling yourself open in the heart. We're going to kick your leg up towards the ceiling and stretch out through the back of the leg. Good. And then bend your knee back into a tabletop position. Press the leg up straight, squeezing the top of your thigh, your quad muscle, and then bend your knee back down. We'll do that a couple more times. Kicking up, squeeze the top of your knee, the top of your thigh, and then return. Now, if you want to get fancy, we can add the foot, coordinating the foot and the ankle movement. So you're going to point when you bend the knee and then flex the foot as you kick vertical. Okay. Point when you bend and then flex the foot when you go up. Nice. And if that went over your head, no big deal. Just do the straightening and bending of your leg. Good. Last one, big squeeze on the top of the thigh. Nice job. Beautiful. Go ahead and slide that foot out where it came from. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So grabbing behind your leg, pull your leg up as far as you can towards your chest. And again, if you need to get creative, wrap a towel or a belt or a scarf around your leg to help you hold the leg in towards your chest. All right, leg's going to kick up towards the ceiling and then go ahead and bend it back down. Again, if you want to get fancy, I'll also kind of start this one early. You can point the foot as you bend the knee and then flex the foot and kick the leg straight. Yeah. As best as you can, try to hold your knee vertical. So when you kick the leg out or up, the thigh doesn't go away from you. Be really strong in your upper body to hold the thigh. Good. Flex and point and bend. And we're going to do this just 4 more times. Flex and kick, point and bend, flex and kick, point and bend, flex and kick, point and bend. And last one, flex and kick, point and bend. Nice job. All right. This leg that you're holding on to, we're going to keep it right where it is. Let's kick it back up towards the ceiling and hold it there. We're going to guide the leg to cross over the body. So we're going to let the leg fall over. If you have your right leg up towards the ceiling, you're going to let it cross over to the left side and your body might roll with it, and that's fine. And then we're going to try to see if we can get ourselves back into that same position without too much extra movement or struggle. So we're going to press down through your bottom arm, lift your leg back up towards the ceiling and grab back onto it with both hands. Okay, here we go. Again, cross over the top and let yourself touch the mat. And hopefully you can start controlling the descent and then push down into the floor with your bottom arm to bring your leg back up towards the ceiling. You can grab on with both hands. Okay, let's do that 3 more times. Again, control the descent now. So don't let yourself plop down too quickly. You're just rolling through. Yep, push down and up. Nice. Rolling out and push down and up. Good. Now take a look at your big toe. I lied. We're going to do 2 more. I added 1. You're going to look at your big toe the whole time. So as you roll down, look at your big toe and then looking at your big toe when you come back up. We'll do that 1 more time. Rolling down, look at your big toe and then looking back up towards the ceiling. Nice job. And then go ahead and bring your leg back out long. I always laugh when I look at my feet because I'm like, those are my mom's feet. Those are not my feet. Those are my mom's feet. All right, here we go. Other leg up towards the ceiling. And we're going to cross the body. So if I have my left leg up, I'm going to go over to the right side. So we're going to go over to the right, control the descent, try not to fall too quickly. And then you can push down through your right arm to help back up to that vertical leg. Yep. Here we go. Up and over the top. And then up towards the ceiling. And if you have already done it, maybe we're going to take your eyes and follow your big toe the whole time. We're just bringing your eyes, your visual system into the movement practice. And this would also be some vestibular stimulation where we're moving around in space with the eye tracking. Okay, last one or two here. Let's do up. Good. Hopefully it's getting a little bit smoother and easier. You've sort of figured out that push-pull dynamic. Good, good. And then bring your leg back down to the mat. Awesome. Let's have both feet flat on the ground and your knees bent. Have your feet relatively wide, so big separation between the feet, and then you can have your arms out in a T. Let your knees drop over to one side, and you're going to get a big stretch maybe on one side of your body. The knees are going to one side, and your eyes and head are going to look to the opposite direction. Very nice. Swing the legs up and over to the other side. The knees go to one side and your eyes and head go to the opposite direction. Excellent. Let's go ahead and just work through that a few times. So the knees go to one side, eyes and head go to the opposite. And then knees go to one side, eyes and head go to the opposite. Good. We'll do that one more time on each side, please. Up and over. Good. You get this big spiraling in your spine, including your neck, even all the way up through your eyeballs. Very nice. Good, good. And then go ahead and release. All right. Right here, we're going to take our feet and we're going to stomp on the ground and we're going to have a temper tantrum with our legs. Yes. Getting lots of vibration up in our bones and helping us feel some of the pressure in the bottom of your feet, waking up your feet if they're a little bit maybe losing sensation from the morning or just in general. Good, good, good. And then see if you can lift, keeping your feet flat on the ground. See if you can lift your toes without lifting your ball of your foot. And then press the toes down and lift your heels up. Lower the heels down, lift the toes up without lifting the balls of your feet. Ground your toes and then lift your heels up. Nice. And that might be tricky. Just do your best. Just the toes. And then toes down, lift your heels up. Very nice. And we'll do that one more time. Toes lift and heels lift. Nice job. All right. Make sure your feet are in a great spot for bridging, for the bridging hip lift. We're going to have our arms just a little bit down closer towards your sides with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. From here, make sure that you can feel the ground with your big toes. So if you want to do like a little extra wiggle with your big toes to make sure they're really grounded, maybe you feel the softness of the carpet or the stickiness of the mat. That big toe connection is really, really important for how this movement manifests in your body. Go ahead and press the hips up towards the ceiling. Nice openness in the front of your hips, openness in the front of your body. Try to let your head be relaxed and wiggle it just a little bit right and left. Beautiful. And then go ahead and bring your hips back down. Yep. Connect your big toe and push your hips back up towards the ceiling. Open up in the fronts of the hips and then lower the hips back down. We're going to do that 5 more times. Press the hips up. Make sure you have big toe connection and then lower back down. Press the hips up and then lower back down. 3 more. Press and slow it down. Nice. Lift and down. 1 more time, please. We lift up and lower all the way down. Nice job. Let your knees go right and left. You can kind of shake out your low back. We're going to do another set of bridging. I'm going to up the ante a little bit. If it gets a little too challenging for whatever reason, you can always go back to that version that we just did. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go bridge the hips up. Take your brain over to one leg. Let's go the left leg. So really ground through your left leg, and you're going to weight shift a little bit, enough so that you can float your right leg up off the mats. Give your ankle a little roll. Bring your right foot back down to the ground, and then lower your hips down. Beautiful. Press the hips up again. Weight shift over into the right leg. Absorb that work in your right leg. We're going to float the left foot up towards the ceiling and roll the left ankle. Nice, a little multitasking ankle mobility and bridging, right? Foot comes down, hips go down. Nice. Press the hips up. Shift over to the left side. Right leg comes in tabletop. And yeah, nice. Foot comes down and then release the hips. Beautiful. We're going to do that 4 more times total. So hips up first. Weight shift, float the leg, roll your ankle out. I feel like it's a brain training class, just following the directions of right and left. And bring it down. Nice job. We'll go up again. Shift over, float the leg, roll the ankle. See those toes in the air. Nice job. And then bring it down. We're going to go one more on the other side, please. Lift, shift, float, roll the foot. Nice. Good. And bring it on down. Excellent job. Go ahead and roll onto your side, please. And you're going to make a pillow with your bottom arm. And your top hand can either be on the floor in front of you or on your hip. And then your legs are going to be stacked roughly one on top of the other. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a big rocking motion where we take the whole body and we roll it forward towards the floor. And pause here for a second. I do want you to take note of something that might be happening in your body, which is a good thing. I want you to see if you made that top knee slide forward of the bottom knee. And if you did, excellent job. And if you didn't, try to make that happen. Make the top knee longer than the bottom knee. And then we're going to roll ourselves back a little bit. And if you do it right, your top knee should now be almost like shorter than the bottom knee. So you're kind of sliding. The knees are sliding past each other, over the top of each other. Go ahead and roll forward all the way, and then roll back all the way. Your knees may lift a little bit, and that's okay, but try to keep them together as much as you can. We'll go forward and back and forward and back. Good. I'm cradling my head also with my bottom arm, so it's not necessarily resting the whole time down on my hand, but it's definitely cradled. Very good. We're going to do 2 more. And last one. Good. Nice job. All right. We're going to take this top leg and reach it out long. The bottom leg is going to stay bent. See if you can bring your gaze forward. It's interesting to look at your foot, but it's more interesting to look at me maybe. All right. So we're going to take that top leg and we're going to lift it up and down. Top leg lifts up and down. Now here, as you lift the leg up, little challenge. Can you keep your waistline off of the ground? Yes. So we tap up and tap down. Try to keep your waistline lifted, like you could slide your hand in. Now, right here, we're essentially balancing on one side of our body, and the other side of our body is in free space. The knee bent in front makes this a little bit easier. If you want to make it harder for yourself, we're just going to slide the bottom leg straight. And we'll continue to go up and down with the top leg. So hopefully you felt, well, they're like, whoa, I got to adjust a little bit. Yeah. Or you can go somewhere halfway in between, little bend in the knee, somewhere halfway in between. All right. Somewhere where you're successful. Are we starting to feel a little smoke on that hip? Yeah. Last one. Beautiful. Go ahead and bend, straighten out your bottom leg and bend your top knee forward. And you're going to go ahead and go into that rotation again forward where you're stretching the arms forward. This time the arm's going to come up and we're going to rotate behind you. See how far you can get your top shoulder to come down onto the ground behind you. Your knee may lift a little bit, and that's okay. You're just getting a big stretch in your spine. And then go ahead and bring yourself back to the starting position. We're going to do this 4 more times. Bonus points if you track your eyes on your thumb the whole time. All right, so we go up, track your eyes on your thumb the whole time. Even when the arm comes back, see how far behind you can go. Track your thumb. We're going to come all the way back forward. Good. 3 more times. We go up, rotate behind you, and up, rotate close. 2 more times. Good. And if you start to get dizzy or you don't like the eye tracking thing, that's totally normal. Sometimes I get kind of a weird sensation too. So you're just gonna either close your eyes or you can not track your hand and still do the motion with your body. Good. Nice job. All right, so from here, we're going to come onto your stomach. So go ahead and slide that leg back. We are going to do the other side in a bit, but first we're going to do a little drill on our stomach. So we're at tummy time now, right? Tummy time. Go ahead and bring your hands underneath your shoulders here. And I've got a little niece. She's, oh gosh, she's like 3 months right now. So she's doing a lot of tummy time. Right here, we're going to take your head and eyes to the right. And we're going to try to look over your right shoulder. Maybe you push down into the ground a little bit to lift up your chest. See if you can look over at your right back pocket towards that direction. Yep. And then bring yourself back down. Maybe look at the ground and then take your eyes and your head over to the left. You might push through the ground a little bit to get a little chest lift and look over your left back pocket. Perfect. Okay, we're going to go right and left, right and left. Go nice and slow. Don't feel like you need to go fast. We want to feel kind of the evolution of how we lift ourselves off the ground. Good, defying gravity in a way. So we're going up, push down into the ground to look over the shoulder. Very nice. Awesome. We're going to continue this. If you want to add a little up level challenge, we're going to bend the same side knee and see if you can look at your toes now and then wave at yourself with your foot. Either twinkle your toes or roll your foot around. That's it. And then bring it back down over to the other side. Again, you could up level by bringing the knee up, wave at yourself with your toes. Notice for yourself if it's easier to look at one foot than the other foot. So for me, for example, like I can see my left foot very clear. My right side gets a little bit sticky. Yeah. Nice. I'm gonna do that one more time just to finish up that left side. Equal reps on each side, right? We don't want to be too left-sided. Excellent. Nice job. And then go ahead and place your hands underneath your forehead and let your head rest down on the ground right here. And we're going to bring your heels towards your bum. And this is called window washing your shins. So you're just going to let your feet fall off to one side. You're going to feel maybe a stretch on the hip flexor and then switch over to the other side and just let your feet sort of swivel from right to left. Yeah, nice. And you might get a little bit of stretching your low back as well, which is good. Excellent. All right, we're going to do that little leg lift series on the other side. And here's the deal. You can either just roll away from me and listen to my voice cues, or you can situate yourself so that you're still looking at me, but make sure you're doing the side that you did not already do. Okay. Make sure you're doing the side that you did not already do. I can't keep track of that for you. All right. So we're going to lay on your side. So again, you can either turn away from me and just listen to my voice cues or make sure that you are doing the other side. We're going to have the arm underneath your head for a little pillow and the knees bent in. And your hand is likely going to be on the ground here. And we're going to do that full body rocking first. So go ahead and rock yourself forward so much so that your chest comes down to the ground and the hip goes forward so that, again, the appearance of the knee going longer than your bottom knee. And then open yourself back up and pull the hip back. You're just going to rotate open towards the ceiling and behind you. Yep. And then rotate back, close. Everything closes, and then everything opens back up. When you bring yourself into the open position, again, make sure that you're sliding the hip back so that the top knee gets shorter than the bottom knee. And if your knee lifts up a little bit, that's okay, but try to keep a little bit of a knee squeeze there. Little adductor strength, inner thigh strength, keeping your knee closed. Good. We'll do that 2 more times. And last one. Good, good. And then go ahead and reset yourself. We're going to take that top leg out long. You can keep this bottom knee bent unless you know otherwise. You want to straighten it right away. Good. Go ahead and lift and lower that top leg. Beautiful. We're going to try to keep the ribs lifted underneath you there. Easier would be holding the hand here in front of you, sort of as an additional post. If you want to make it harder, you would bring your hand to your hip. Now, essentially, you're balancing on this side body. Right? So you're balancing on this whole side body. If you want to make it really hard, you're just going to slide that bottom leg out as well, balancing through again through the whole side body. Woo, hoo, 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 hoo. And the leg gets a little bit spicy right here on the side of the hip. You should feel some work happening. Lots of balance going on the bottom side. Make sure that bottom side stays connected to the ground. Yep, we'll do that 2 more times. And last one. Good. Bring that knee in. And we're going to roll all the way in towards the mat. Some of us might like sleeping this way. This is how I sleep. We're going to reach the arm forward. Remember, if you want to add the eye tracking, here it is. Tracking your thumb with your hand. Go ahead and rotate out behind you. That knee is going to want to maybe flare up towards the ceiling. Try to keep it reaching down towards the floor. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a battle, right, between how far can you rotate and keeping the knee down on the ground. And up. Nice job. That's it. Last 2. Last one. Good, good. And bring it in. Nice job. All right, from here, we're going to come back onto your stomach. Second set of tummy time. Second bit of tummy time. Good. All right, so right here, we're going to have our arms underneath, our hands underneath our shoulders again. Good. Go ahead and float your head and shoulders up just a little bit so that you're working on your upper back extension. So upper back. Right here, you want to try to push the base of your sternum down into the ground. So maybe like right underneath the nipple line is pressing down into the ground and the rest of your spine is lifting. You do not need to lift your eyes up super high. They can just maybe go right in front, like right at the edge of your mat, a couple inches in front, and then lower down nice and slow. We'll do that a couple more times. So we're going to lift. Beautiful. And then back down. And lift up. And back down. Now we're going to add that little side bending as well. So go ahead and lift up and hold. We're going to take our eyes and head over to the left. So sort of a push off on the right side. Now here's the difference from last time. We're going to bend the knee up if that was for you. We're also going to take the left hand and reach it back. If you're lucky, you'll be able to touch the leg. Go something towards that position, or reach your arm as far as you can. And you're going to push through your right arm to maybe get a little extra inch. And then bring yourself back down and rest the foot down. Keep the chest floating. We're going to push off the left side to side bend over to the right. Bring your right foot up and take your hand behind you. See how far you can reach down. If you can reach your foot, see if you can reach further. And then bring it back and reset everything. We're going to do 4 more of those total. So floating, we're going to go left. Everything reaches. Little coordination here, right? And then bring it back and down and float. Side bend as you lift. Center out. Up. Side bend as you lift. And center. I know. Lots of work in your upper back. Beautiful. Nice job. And release. Now, right here, we're going to press ourselves up off the ground and come into hands and knees. So quadruped position, hands and knees. See if you can push yourself up. Nice job. And that's a really good strength skill to have that we're just going to glaze over a little bit today, but it's important to have in your body. All right. So once you're here, we're going to have your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. If you are able to tuck your toes underneath so that the balls of your feet are on the ground, or the toe pads are on the ground. That's even better. Okay, giving your hip, the feet a little bit of a stretch. Right here, we are now a baby in quadruped, and we're really excited about that toy in front of us. We're not quite sure how we're going to get there yet. So we just start rocking forward and back. It's nice to stretch out your wrists, and you can shift as far back as you'd like to go and as far forward as you'd like to go. Obviously, the farther you go, the bigger the stretch in the wrists and the bigger the stretch in the knees and the hips. Okay. Nice. Very good. Good. We'll do about 2 or 3 more there. And last one. Good. Nice job. And I always love seeing babies do their little planks. We're not going to do a full plank today, but I always find it so good. We're going to start to do kind of almost like a little bit of a half plank. So right here, we're going to take your left foot and reach it back and plant your foot on the ground. And then bring that knee back in. Weight shift onto that left side and bring your right foot back and plant it on the ground. Good. Now, if you have a plank in your body, meaning you can go both legs up, go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to do the 1 foot at a time. But I know some of you are, and ladies, guys and ladies, I know some of you are very strong and maybe want to progress a little bit. Go ahead and do that. Nice work. So we're working a little bit on weight shifting and a little bit about bringing the arms back. Good. We're going to do 2 more. Last one. Nice job. And somehow we're going to come off of our wrist. So maybe you come into a kneeling position or something that helps you take a little break off your wrist. Babies could be down there all day, but we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a break. And then we'll come back down. All right. We're going to add the opposite arm and leg reach to it. So if we have, Simon says again, twister, left foot goes back. Right hand is going to come forward on the ground or lifted. And then reset everything underneath you. We're going to go other side. Right foot goes back. Opposite hand is going to come forward or lift it. Good. All right. Go ahead and go through that sequence, and you can go, if you're good and you have, you can do kind of all of it together, go for it. I'm just going to call it out as is. So foot goes back, and then the opposite arm comes forward and up. Now, if you want to advance this even further, you can float the leg as well. So you have opposite arm and leg floating, bird dog, or whatever you want to call it. And then bring it back in. Foot goes back, arm comes forward. Maybe we float the foot if you want to advance. Nice. Good. And again, you can do it in piecewise, or if you're feeling really confident in the sequence of it, the coordination, you can kind of start to blend the phases together. Good. And we're going to do this one more time on each side, and then we'll take another break off your wrists. Yeah. Nice. Good. And then release. Nice job. Go ahead and come into a kneel position, either low or high. Doesn't matter, but roll out your wrists. Just give yourself a little break. Maybe let's interlace our fingers and do a little roller coaster. I've mentioned this before. For my dad, I make sure, my dad has Parkinson's-like syndrome. I make sure that he has always retained this ability to crawl. I always want him to be able to crawl. So putting some weight on your wrist and spending some time down on your wrist is really important. All right, so come on down. We're going to come back into your hands and knees position, and we're going to actually do some crawling. So right here, we're going to take your right leg and your left hand and float them off the ground. See if you can do that simultaneously. So similar to what we just did. Inch them forward a few and then step forward. Opposite arm and leg on the other side. We're going to hover first. See if you can balance there. It's a little tricky. And then step forward. So this is going to be slow motion crawling. Up, balance, step. Good. Up, balance, step. Nice. Up, balance, step. Up, balance, step. Nice job. Good. And then let's go backwards. So we're going to go up, balance, slide back. Up, balance, slide back, up, balance, slide back, up, balance, slide back, up, balance, slide back. And one more time. Good, good. Come up and shake out your wrists. Nice. All right. So 2 things about that, which is kind of going to be helping us with the neuro connection of all of this work, is when we're crawling or we're walking forward, we don't want to be looking down on our feet because that's not quite as interesting. What's interesting is the thing that we're locomoting or moving towards. Okay. So as we're doing our crawling now for the second set, I want you to take your eyes in your head forward and look at a target, just as a baby would say, oh, I want that toy. I'm going to that toy and I'm going to beeline it there. Right. All right. So go ahead and bring yourself down onto hands and knees again. And we're going to take our eyes, find something across the room that you're going to crawl to, and then go ahead and make that happen. So go ahead, opposite arm and leg, opposite arm and leg, opposite arm and leg. And you don't have to go quite as slow as the last time, but I do want only 2, 4 or 2 limbs on the ground. So never having like really 3 limbs. That makes sense. Good. Once you've gotten to your object, then we'll just crawl backwards. You can still continue looking at your object, which actually makes it a little bit harder because it's a reverse thing in the brain. Nice. Good. I'm just going to come to the center so I have a little bit of space. Now, let's imagine that we got to that toy, that object that we're like, and we're like, oh, I want to play with this now. So we're going to bring the right knee in a little bit and then sit down on the right hip. And then we would have potentially our hands free to play with the toy, right? And then we're like, okay, no, now I want to go over to that toy. So I'm going to bring myself back into kind of a quadruped. Yep. We're going to take 1 step forward, bring the left knee forward, and then sit the hip down. Good mobility in your hips, or if you need to take a break off your wrist, right? Or to play with your toy. Bring yourself back up, step forward 1 step, and then bring the hip down. Nice job. Bring yourself back up. Step forward with the leg and bring it down. Are you with me? All right. Maybe we have room for 1 or 2 more. And if not, you can just kind of turn yourself around. Good. And then maybe do your last one, and we're going to sit on the ground. Good. And I'm just going to stay right here in this position. So if this is challenging for you to sit in, I do encourage that you take a pillow and plop it underneath your hips so you're a little bit just elevated. Okay. If this is hard for you to work in. What we're going to do here is you're going to take your outside leg and see if you can push it open in some way. And it's going to ask that you flex your spine. You draw your belly button in. And then you're just going to bring the knee down and lift through your chest. So we're going to flex and open the knee and then lift through your chest. Yeah, nice. Flex and open the knee and lift, right? Flex and open the knee and return. Nice. Because as I'm just thinking, like as the baby would go, like sit down and then it would go, we're going to follow me. It would go maybe and sit like this. Let's go ahead and flop your knees open. Oh, and maybe this is really tight here. We're not going to spend too much time, but maybe the baby would be in this position where the soles of their feet together and they're playing. Let's go ahead and bring the knee that you didn't just move and let's bring it over to the side. I'm just going to readjust myself so I'm in frame. So now you're on the other side. You're on the other side. Good. We're going to open the knee up, maybe flex your spine, and then close your knee and lift your spine. Open the knee and almost like come in between your thighs. Yeah. Nice. Good job. This is tricky. This takes a lot of hip mobility and core strength. Nice job. Yep. 2 more. Good. And last one. Excellent. Beautiful. From here, let's go ahead and come into hands and knees again. Now I'm going to do this next series. I'm just realizing I'm going to do this next series with a chair. If you do not need a chair, more power to you, but I'm going to show it with the chair. And in fact, this one's quite rolly, so it's not even very reliable. But here it is. All right, so if we're in hands and knees and the baby is crawling over to the couch, and it's going to bring one hand on the couch and one hand on the couch, and maybe we come into a tall kneeling position. So you either are going to look like this, you don't need the chair, or you're going to have the hands on the chair for a little bit of balance. Okay, your choice, your choice. All right, right here, the baby might come up into tall kneeling, and then it might sit back. And then we're going to just work on sitting the hips forward and back. As you sit the hips back, there's going to be maybe a stretch on your knees and maybe a stretch on your quads. Take advantage of that. Maybe even a stretch on the tops of your foot, your ankle, and then go ahead and push through. Yeah, nice. Good. Awesome. Last two. And last one. Good. All right. Two options for this one. We're going to bring your right foot forward to come around the edge. Okay. Yep. Just hold there for a second. Very nice. The hand that is not, so if you're right foot forward, we're going to release the left hand and bring the left arm up towards the ceiling and side bend. So you're going to stretch through that hip flexor. Beautiful. Bring your left hand back to your surface. Again, you can do this all free too. You're going to take your right arm and reach it behind you. Nice. And bring it back center. So we'll bring the left arm up and over for a side bend stretch. And then the right arm behind you. Nice job. One more time. Left arm comes up and over for a side bend stretch. And we'll open up behind. Good rotation. Nice job. Good. Now here's the tricky part. Let's see if we can sit back, keeping this foot forward, and then bring ourselves back forward and maybe step forward. Okay. And it may look more or less elegant than what I did, but let's just try that a few times. It takes a lot of hip strength and hip mobility. Good. Push forward. And we're just going to do two more. Okay. If you want to practice this a little bit more on your own, you can. That's it. Nice job. Last one. Very good. All right. This leg's going to tuck back underneath. I'm just going to spin around. You can stay right where you're at just so I can see you. We're going to bring the left foot forward now. Good. Get yourself in a nice stable position. Here's another trick too. So if your foot and your knee are in line with one another, it's going to be harder to balance. So if you want that, awesome. But if you want a little bit more stability, you just bring your foot out to the side a little bit, and then you'll have a little bit more balance and stability. Okay. All right. So we're going to be right here. We have the left foot forward. We're going to bring the right arm up overhead. I know I'm a little backwards in the camera, but just stick with what you hear. So right arm comes up and over. You should feel a big stretch on that whole side, and then bring the hand down. Your left arm is going to now open behind you. And again, I'm backwards in the camera. And center. The original arm comes up. So the side that your hip is open will come up. Good job. And then rotate back. Excellent. One more time there on each. Up and over. And rotate back. Nice work. All right, here's that tricky one. Here's the tricky one. We're going to sit the hips back a little bit. If you can get all the way back, that's awesome. And then maybe the trickier part is getting out of that hole. So use what you need in terms of the chair to get out. Awesome job. Bring it down and then pull through. We got two more. Down and pull through. Yep. And last one, down and pull through. Nice job. All right. So hopefully you're using a stable chair. I know I'm not being the best role model right now, but stable chair, strong shoulders. We're going to tuck the back toe. As you float the back knee up, we're just going to put some weight in your hands and you're going to keep your feet in a split stance. Keep your feet in that split stance and then lower your knee back down. And then let's see if we can take the hands off for a moment. Okay. So hands are kind of going down, press the hips up and the knees straight. The knees come down and then take the hands off. Push. Yep. Down and then come off. Now, if you do not need the chair, let's do a few without. If you do need the chair, continue that, okay? Or maybe a lightness on the chair. Maybe you just have maybe one hand on the chair. Yeah, nice. And then back down. 2 more just like that. Here we go. Up. And last one. Up. Good. And then back down. Perfect. Let's do the other side. So we're going to tuck that left leg in. The right leg's going to come forward. We're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. So start with using the chair unless you know you don't need it. We're going to make sure that back toe is tucked and use that back leg, okay? Split your effort 50-50 between the 2 legs. Press up. You can use your hands if you need to, and then bring it back down. Nice job. If you do not need the stool or you can have less hands on the stool, that's even better. Yep. I'm saying stool because that's what I'm using. Chair, table, couch, coffee table. Nice job. Good. Now, especially if you're not having your hands on the stool, I want you to take your eyes and look them up because that will give your body the idea, okay, I want to go up. And remember, the body will go where the eyes go. All right. So if I take our eyes up, we're going to lift up. Okay. And last one will come up and then step your feet together. Good. And then go ahead and stand up off the, the stool. And we're going to push that off to the side or move somewhere that you have a little bit more space. All righty. Give yourself some space on either side of your body. And we're going to start on one side of the room or one side of your mat. And right here, hands are going to be at your side. We're going to side step over to the side. You choose which side you're going to move. Beautiful. And maybe you look in the direction that you want to sidestep towards. Make sure you don't trip on anything or, you stop where you need to stop. And then we'll switch the direction. So we're going to look to the other direction and sidestep. Nice. Good. And we're going to do that one more time on each direction. Look where you're going and sidestep. And then look where you're going and sidestep. Excellent. We're going to do that 2 more times. If you want to up level it, you're going to try to keep your eyes forward, but see the fingers in your periphery. So if you look forward and you see your fingers in the periphery, give yourself little piano hands, piano fingers. Good. And so you're sidestepping and you're using your peripheral vision to inform you that you're good to go in that direction. All right. And hopefully you kind of know where your stopping point is, or you should see it a little bit out of the side of your eyes. Right. And then we'll just do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to continue playing piano with my fingers. I hope you do too, to kind of stimulate that peripheral vision. Yeah. Nice. And we'll do that one more time in each direction. Again, you can either look where you're going or challenge your peripheral vision by looking forward. Nice. Good. And then I'm going to just come back to the center of my mat or area. Good. All right. So we're going to take your right foot. I'm sorry, this would be, the right foot in the camera. And we're going to step back so that the foot turns to be perpendicular with your other foot. And you're also going to take your head and your eyes in that direction and reach. So it would look something like this. Reach. Kind of feels like you're fencing maybe. I've never fenced, but I would imagine. And then bring yourself back to your start position. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. We're going to turn the hips. The foot's going to go out and we're going to reach. Put some weight into the leg that you just stepped into and then step together. Good. Rotate, reach, and look. Put some weight into it. Nice. And then bring it around. Very good. I know that maybe some people in the group have trouble turning around well, so this is a nice way to sort of prep the turning. Good. Feel like you're ballroom dancing, maybe? I don't know. And bring it back to the center. Nice. So now we're going to do a full circle 180. So we're going to go turn, step together. Then you should sort of be back, you know, in the opposite directions. That was 180. Same side, you're going to turn back and then step together. Now we're at the starting position. Reverse the direction, other foot. Turn, step together, turn, step together. And hopefully we can get that done in, you know, 180 per step. Let's do it one more time in each direction. And if you're getting dizzy, maybe just skip this one out. Go out, step together, go out, and step together. Good, good. Other side. Out, step together, out, step together. Nice job. All right, walk around your room and see how you feel. Now we're ready to go. We graduated from laying on our backs, on our side. We did tummy time. We did some crawling. We did half kneeling. We pulled ourselves up onto the couch. We stood. We did a little bit of sideways walking along the couch. And then now we are locomoting throughout the house. We're running. In fact, we're running. Go ahead and give yourself a little jog. These little ones, they run so fast, right? Good. Nice job. And then bring it back to your center place. And you can either sit in a chair or sit on the floor, whichever suits you. I'm just going to grab my chair here. Make sure your feet are planted strongly. Maybe you're sitting on the front edge of the chair. And let's have your palms facing up. Roll your shoulders a few times to open up your chest. Letting yourself sort of settle a little bit after all that movement. Close your eyes if that feels right for you so you can really feel your body and settle into your body. And we're just going to go, let's do 1 minute of quiet reflection today, just 1 minute. I know it'll be quick. So closing your eyes if that feels right. Just replaying the sequence and the exercises that we did today. Sort of making notes on which ones felt really good in your body, which ones were challenging, which ones maybe you want to revisit later this week to practice. And just feeling peace and stillness in your body. Nice work. I'm going to take one breath in through the nose and then a longer exhale out through the mouth. Excellent job, everybody. Thank you for joining me today and PD Active. If you haven't already made a donation for participating in class, please do. You can access all that information at pdactive.org. And I hope to see you next time. I'm going to turn off the recording.